Howdy friends, welcome back to another Diablo 2 YouTube video. I'm going to talk about why I love farming the Countess. I recently uploaded a video where I did 300 Countess runs and logged every rune. I'll pin that somewhere in here, but I thought it was really interesting. This is one of the areas in the game that I find fascinating in Diablo 2. So because the game was written many years ago, there are certain areas of the game that are predictable. So they tried to be as random as they could with a lot of maps, but the Dark Tower is one that is actually very predictable. So I thought I'd make a cool video just showing like what I usually do when I'm farming the Hell Countess, why you should farm Hell Countess, and then just give you some tips on how to read the map and predict kind of like where things are going to be generated, just to kind of speed the whole farming process along. It's going to be more similar to, or more applicable to, like online. So if you're doing ladder, this is going to be really relevant to you. But if you're doing single player, even just still trying to find the Dark Tower, it can be kind of daunting. Or the Dark Tower, the Forgotten Tower, can be kind of daunting in its own way. So right out of the gate, why is the Hell Countess so awesome for farming? So not only does it have a regular drop table, but it also has a second rune drop table. So this rune drop table has a chance to go to roll from an L to an Ist rune in Hell, which is, awesome. It's completely separate from her normal monster drop table, and it is always hit. So when you kill Hell Countess, two things happen. One, the normal monster table is rolled, where you can have chances to drop runes. On her normal table, you can drop from an L to a low rune. In my video, I was able to find a low rune, and a lot of people were commenting like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. And I started digging into a little bit. I actually thought that her normal table did go up to a low rune, but I was wrong. So you can roll two runes in two places. So first, you have her normal monster roll, which contains runes up from L to low with other items, just being a monster. But it also contains the Key of Terror. So that is something that is, you need 3 keys. You can generate a portal. You get the 3 organs. You can go and do Uber Tristram, and everybody is happy. So you kill her. Normal table is hit. You have a chance to get either key or an insane drop. And then you have another table that's hit. Again, that's being from an L to an Ist rune, and it rolls from 0 to 3 additional runes. So there exists an opportunity or a possibility where you can get 3 rune drops from the Countess. I'm sure if you've farmed her, you've probably seen this. This is going to be really awesome to bridge that gap for the lower level rune words like Spirit, Insight, others. What I'm trying to think. What is Ort Soul? Lore, Stealth. There's a lot of rune words out there. Ancient's Pledge. There's a lot of really low to mid-level rune words that just by farming the Hell Countess you can get very, very quickly. And if you're lucky enough, like I was able to get a low rune, and I was able to create a Zerker Barb. So that's kind of like the spectrum, if you will, of being able to farm the Hell Countess. Another thing to note is that you only need to be on players 1, because this rune roll is this kind of separate rune roll drop table is unaffected by players count. So it kind of makes farming her a lot quicker. If you're going to do something like a Pit Zerker, you cannot hork, so her corpse does explode on death, but it's still nice to see. Still cool to get those drops either way, making this just an awesome, really easy, low effort way to grind. Some things to note is that she is cold immune and fire immune in Hell. So you need electricity, magic, or melee. So on my character where I did the 300 runs, I ended up using a Nova source that I had. And again, I was able to melt runs and was able to get a lot of really cool drops. So on to kind of some of the details of the how to get there. This is more going to be, how do you effectively farm Hell Countess. So let me pull up this handy dandy document that I have here. This is a paint tablet. And I'll just kind of explain the logic behind how the Forgotten Tower spawns entrances and exits. So the way I like to think about it is almost like a grid, kind of a cross system here. Let me see if I can get something a little bit wider. Yeah. So I like to think of it as kind of like a cross system. So you have, you have top left, you have top, right, you have bottom right, and you have bottom left. So these are going to be basically entrance spawns. So if you think about the map like this, it's a 3D kind of like isometric view. That's kind of the whole style of Diablo 2. It's kind of mapped on a plane that makes it look, that makes it look the way that it looks. So when you spawn into a random table, it will generate an entrance and an exit. So an entrance will be, hey, where did I just come from? And an exit will be, if you're on level 1, it'll be to level 2. If you're on 2 to 3, so on and so forth. So but it's deterministic. So if you spawn and this is a B. and the entrance is, you know, a bottom left, let's call it. So it's in the bottom left portion of the map. And I'll show you examples. We'll run through one together and I'll show you, oh, this is, you know, top left, top right, bottom left. But if you spawn on a bottom left, the exit will always be, you know, in what I like to call this Countess clockwise motion. So if it is on the bottom left, then the exit will be a top left tile. If it is a top left entrance, it will be a top right tile. A top left or a top right will be a bottom right, and a bottom right will be a bottom left tile. I'll run through. Ooh, this is kind of cutting it off a little bit. Let me trim that a little bit. So I'll run through one, and then we can basically look at one of the maps and then compare it back to this. And then so for actually getting to, so keep this in mind, keep this kind of in the back on the back burner for now. So actually getting to the Forgotten Tower, it is generated randomly, but it does tend to, in all of the runs that I've done and a lot of the documentation out there, seem to suggest that it always spawns on kind of like an edge closer to the wall. So if you just kind of follow the perimeter of the Black Marsh, odds are you're going to, you know, happen upon it. So I'm going to put this to the test. This is a brand new roll that I had. I was able to reset the map, and I'll just teleport around the perimeter, and let's see, you know, when we can find, whoop, teleported too far. Let's see where we can find the Forgotten Tower. So here it is. I already found it. Like I said, if you have this here on the upper map, let me see if I can, let me move my mini map here. All right, so, and you can see it is right here. I am right here. This is the wall, and here is the Forgotten Tower. So that's just good to keep in mind. So that's one thing. How do I get there? Teleport along the border, and you will eventually come across it. Counterclockwise, clockwise. It is truly random, so you know, you will have to just kind of make a decision and go with it. But once you find the Forgotten Tower, let's go ahead and go inside. Let me put this map back to mini-map, right? So I'll do one level, and then we'll kind of go back. So this is what we would call a bottom right entrance right here. So this is kind of where you exit, and the game seems to be going this way. So if we follow that Countess clockwise, that means the exit will be if you go towards, you know, this way, this bottom left route. So let's try that. And there you have it. This right here is a bottom left kind of tile. So you can see, again, maybe I'll put this back up full screen. I kind of like that. So you can see that this is the bottom, you know, pointing kind of this way, and the bottom right pointing towards the center. And this is the bottom left, again, pointing toward the opening, pointing towards the center. So that's kind of how they're all organized. Let me bring this back up, my little diagram. So the entrances will always be pointing, like the rest of the map will always kind of be pointing in at a center focal point. So if it spawns, if you go in here, the hallway will be going toward this, you know, this way. Bottom right, if you spawn here, the hallway will be going up to the top left, and so on and so forth. So let's just keep the good times rolling, and let's see what we can do. So this is a bottom left. So that means we're going to want to go up, and you can kind of just hug this wall. And there we have it, level 3. So it is kind of wonky along the way, but the same principle generally applies of, you know, where should I be going? Okay, this is a top left. That means we need to go to a top right. And here you have it. So top right corner exit. So it's not going to be a perfect algorithm every time, but it will at least inform you into, like, you know, where should you be teleporting? So this is a top right. So now we want to go to bottom right. Easy peasy, every time. And then once you're on level 5, you can basically just teleport right into the main, you know, this room back here, where you will find the Countess. Let me kill her real quick. Tell, or call it a day. This was on Nightmare, so this actually wasn't on Hell. I just wanted a nice, clean example of being able to do this pretty quickly. But yeah, so overall, that kind of combined together makes this a really, really great place. The drops are awesome. Getting there is predictable, which is really, really nice, especially if you're playing online or if you're playing single player and you need to reset the maps and you want to try and roll for better maps. You still need to know your way around a little bit. You know, some of these streamers that do hundreds and hundreds of these runs, making these or having these predictable traits in the map is really, really important for speeding things up. So I'm going to end this one here. I really hope this was valuable to you guys. Let me know down below, other tips and tricks that you might have for farming Hell Countess, some cool drops you might have gotten. And if you're really liking these videos, a like, subscribe would go a really long way. But until then, I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for stopping by.